challenges and opportunities under Make in India framework. Today, in this session, we are going to have with us Dr. Soumya Sen, who is going to inspire us with his insightful thoughts on generative AI for building interactive medical system. Dr. Soumya Sen is an assistant professor in A.K. Chaudhary School of Information Technology and also teacher in charge of first year of 4-year BTech under University of Calcutta. He received his PhD Tech from Department of Computer Science and Engineering from University of Calcutta and also has completed MTech in Computer Science and Engineering and MSc in Computer and Information Science from the same institute. Dr. Sen has been granted with 3 international patents in USA, Japan, and South Korea, 3 Indian copyrights, and has also authored 2 books and has successfully supervised 3 PhD students. He has published around 140 research papers in international peer-reviewed journals and conferences. Dr. Sen has acted as a reviewer of many international journals and organized many conferences as program chair and convener. His research interest areas are data warehouse and OLAP tools, machine learning, generative AI, business intelligence, distributed database, etc. He is a fellow of Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication, IETE, member of IEEE and SCM, and life member of Society for Data Science. His research collaborations include institutions such as City University of New York, USA, California State University, USA, Toyo University, Japan, Era University of Canterbury, New Zealand, Eastern International University, Vietnam, Sunway University, Malaysia, etc. Prior to joining academics, Dr. Sen also worked in corporates like IBM India Private Limited and RS Software. Currently, he is an advisor of Pandalabs.ai USA and Aeonics Research and Innovations LLP India. So for the next 1 hour, we are going to have a wonderful session of Dr. Sen, after which we are going to have a 5 minutes interactive session with the participants. So over to you, sir. Uh, sir, are you, sir, am I audible, sir? Dr. Soumya Sen, sir. So, Shomo, sir, you are not audible. Please unmute the mic. So, Dr. Shomo Sen, sir, you are not audible, sir. Please unmute your mic. Maybe sir is facing some problems from his end. He is going to join soon.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Okay, there is some problem. I don't know why that happened. Okay, so
Thank
just
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just wait.
No, no, sir, it's absolutely okay. Thank you, sir.
Just checking. Now am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are absolutely audible now.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just I'm going to share the my doc slide.
It's okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so this is the title for my presentation today. Can you view the slide?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, visible, and my audio is also fine. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Now I'm going to tell a little bit about the generative AI based system. Now in generative, all of us are aware about the system like ChatGPT, and you might all know that ChatGPT is a generative AI tool. Now, as we going through this particular workshop is on medical application. However, I am going to discuss about the medical challenges, not about the medical challenges. I am going to talk little bit about the some implementation. But what happened, because as this is a FDP program, faculty development program, I personally feel that you should focus on doing research in this area. And for doing the research, there are a lot of concepts that you need to know. And as this is a very short time for me, I shall try to go through the different terminologies that are going to be helpful for you for doing the research in further level. Now, from my experience, what we are doing in this area, that if you are interested to do research in these generative AI tools and this thing, the major focus should be for you is work with the natural language processing. So NLP is the brain behind this generative AI tool. So if you interested to start work in this area, one thing for guiding the student for doing certain projects that the BTech students, MCA students are interested, for them you can give them certain implementation based work, because that implementation based work they will feel interesting because they can do many things. But this is not going to be very much helpful for you for carrying out the research project. Why? Because most of these tools are, what happened, they are inbuilt. The students just call the API and integrate them. At the end, I shall show you an example where my students have implemented a medical system, but that is something where everything is available, that even we can call the API for understanding the what the patients are telling. We can call the API to analyze the image so that this could be validated. And now I work with this project with one of my school friend who is a doctor, and he told that the result that we are getting, that's very good. Now, clearly speaking, that is not my credit or the credit of my student, because it is the credit of the API that they calling. Now, you just think those who are working in the computer vision, it is their task to identify that from an image, how this could be depicted, how this could be diagnosed. Now, if it is data. Now, while the people are talking about, often what happen, we do some mistake in typing, but still the system will be able to understand the meaning, how it does. Similarly, what happen while we are talking, we may not speak correctly or may fumble, but the people can understand. Similarly, this tools can also understand what we are trying to say because we are calling again the API. But if you want to do the work in this area, you should focus on the different NLP techniques that are already existing and that are going to be evolving over the time. If you are studying the thing, you can find that lot of NLP methodologies are coming out, and there are certain things which are specific to certain application. Many of you heard about the model bot which is used for NLP. Now there is a model called FinBot that is specifically for the financial application. Now if you don't know this model, what will happen that you need to try to build something on your own, and as you are trying to build something on your own, that may not get the effective result. So what is what you need to know, that there is FinBot. Now you customize it as per the requirement. Now, what happened that can anyone tell that I think all of the here at least use ChatGPT one time in their life or in their different work. Can you tell that with how many parameters ChatGPT is being trained? Any idea? Any idea that with how many parameters ChatGPT is trained? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Absolutely
Okay.
audible, sir.
Okay. Now you will be amazed to know that ChatGPT is trained with 1.80 trillion parameter. Can you imagine 1.80 trillion parameter? Okay. Now I am telling you, so it like that ChatGPT possibly know everything, but it's not really possible. Why it not really possible? Because lot of customization take place at everywhere. Now, for example, one teacher is teaching in his or her own way. Now, while he or she is going to prepare the question, his question will be generally based on the study material he is sharing or the notes that he or she is sharing. Now, it is not possible for ChatGPT to get that thing. So, even ChatGPT is trained with 1.80 trillion parameter. There are a lot of things that are not being identified. It is not really possible to find out what document Soumya Sen has shared with their student. So now the student have their that document or notes, whatever I have shared with them. Now they want to analyze that what type of question I may give in the examination. So they need to upload those things. Now, it's not possible in ChatGPT, you are going to upload those things and get the result. So why I'm telling this thing, I am trying to give you an idea how the problem statements are created. There are a lot of problem statements that are very much specific. There are a lot of local requirement. That local requirement may not be captured by the ChatGPT every time. The data is not present to them. Now we need to provide those data, and accordingly my tool will able to generate this. Now, ChatGPT, I can say the broader, it's a generative AI tool. Now, while I'm talking about this type of application, we require some tool which will train the model as per the data given by the for the specific purpose for the customization. That is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So I'm just trying to point out that how we rectify the things, how we modify the things. It's we cannot able to develop a model which is going to work like ChatGPT. It's not possible. But what is possible from our side? It's possible from our side that we can do sorts of fine tuning into the system and could generate some good result that is going to be more useful. And along with that, we may need to identify the different parameters that are related to this. Okay, so now in this way, we will able to do good research. So for doing good research, it is very much important that how you are looking into the problem, how you are analyzing the problem. And while you are trying to do this thing, you should try to identify that what are the different conditions that are actually driving that thing. And now these conditions, while I'm talking about this condition over the time, these conditions or anything is need to be represented in the form of data. Now we can say that these are the different parameters that we are using into the system. So in this way, what is going to happen that you require domain knowledge, because you can need to develop any RAG application for certain business. Now that business related data you need to identify. Based on that it will happen. For example, if you want to stay in suppose you are coming outside Kolkata and you are planning that where to stay. Okay, now this could be, and now you have certain places to visit. Okay, now all these data, or you have some specific requirement. Now all these data may not be known to the chat GPT. So you may need to feed the data with some local information. Okay, even the local cost, local pricing type of thing. I just try to give an example that why it is not possible to capture everything. Once I visited Kafoskari University, Venice. Now this is not at the actual Venice. It is a few kilometers away from Venice. Now, while I was searching for the hotel, what I found that at Venice, the price of hotel is too high. But so I could recall that around it is I visited around 12 years ago, and at that time, any basic requirement hotel is going to cost around 8,000 per day. Okay, at in 2014, it's around 2014. But while I choose a hotel nearby the university, the three-star hotel is going to coming at a 50% less cost. And now if I need to travel to Venice to, sorry, at the particular city is called Mestre. From Mestre to Venice, the cost of the travel is around 1 euro. 1 euro, yes. 1 euro means it's around 80 rupees. Look, a very simple computation. Now I could save a lot of money by choosing a good hotel, but far from Venice. Okay, but far from Venice, but it was taking around 30 to 40 minutes of time by road to come, but I need to spend $1, 2 euro up and down. Now, these are the information may not be present in every place. Now, based on the demography, based on the local requirement that you need to find out. Now, how you are going to feed this data. So that for the reason RAG has been generated, and we can develop our own RAG with our specific data where we can go for the interaction. So this is the simple example I try to give you that how we do this thing. Now, there are some definition have been given. Now, this is a very popular pick because obviously this generative AI is coming from artificial intelligence concept was that, then the machine learning came, deep learning, and then we are at the age of the generative AI. Now, from this figure, it's a very popular figure. I think many of you know that while we learn the programming, what we know that in certain program, we feed certain data to get generate the output. But in machine learning, what happened that we feed data, we know what is the output, what is our target. For example, if you are going to work for any share market application, you might think that I want a return of money in this percentage. Now you need to find out what methodology you will apply, or that's mean what methodology mean. I want to say that what type of sorry, what type of investment plan you will adopt such that you can get the return. Now, what will happen? What model will do the prediction? So program is going to be, because many of you are aware about the research in machine learning. What happened? We actually compare different methods. In many application, we find there are different type of classification methodology like KNN, SVM, random forest, decision tree. We apply and check its accuracy. So what happened over there? We try to identify that what program is going to be suitable for that particular application. Now, regarding generative AI, this name is very much interesting. So can anyone tell that why the name generative AI? Generative, what is the what it stands for? Anyone, any idea? Any idea that why this name has been given generative?
Oh, anyone having any idea? Sir is asking. Please feel free to answer.
Anything, you might tell wrong, but I'm just trying to get an idea that what you have the concept. Why the name generative has been given? The biggest power of generative AI is that it could generate something on its own. We have studied machine learning, we have studied deep learning, but what happened? Whatever the system is giving output, it is based on the data on which it is trained. Now, generative AI is a revolution because it can generate on its own, so it's become human being. For example, that in our childhood and after that we have studied lot of poems. Okay, now as a human being, I used to write poem. Now, obviously, while I am writing poem, I am generating something new. In earlier cases, whatever the system is giving as output, it based on which it has been trained. And now we are at the age with generative AI, it can able to generate something on its own, and that due to that reason, it's become dangerous. Why dangerous? That many jobs are going, because while it is getting the capability of generating something, it is going to generate it often better than human being. Okay, so this is the thing of the specialty of the generative AI. AI models we can't do this thing, but this generative AI model are able to do these things. Okay. Now, for understanding generative AI, to work in the generative AI, what you need to have? You need to have a huge amount of data. Yes, you need to train them. But the model with which you train them, such as generative adversarial network or variational autoencoder, now you heard, I think many of you heard transformer model. Okay. Now these models are so much advanced that it is training in such a way, now it can find the context of the application, and based on the context we can the system can generate the necessary data. Now what is understand by the context? Okay, for example, for every human being, the way someone behave in the office not same as he behave in his home, or even in the office. While you are working with your peer, you could be in a casual mode, but while you are with your boss or maybe in college with principal, you can generally we do not go in a casual mode. We need to be very much formal. Now this is the context. We need to understand that what is the situation. Now based on the situation, you could crack a joke, but in certain condition where you may not crack a joke, even you are need to talk in a formal way. Now this is the input we are getting from the system, and our human brain is processing that how to behave in that situation. Now these tools are getting, this is the called context, and now these tools are getting context aware, they could understand the situation. So what happened that they, because sometimes we say that some people behave abnormally, that which is not expected. Now people to people vary. Now once you creating a developing a particular tool, and that tool is being continuously trained, now that tool is obviously will do better than the human being over the time, because every human being need to learn on his own way. Okay, and the tool is being learned, trained over the time, over the years. Now it become come to perfect, and it could do even better. Now even if it is doing something wrong, the system will take care, it will do the fine tuning, and how it will become good over the time again. So you can understand that how challenging situation we are facing, even as a teacher, that the students might find interesting to study something from the bot. Okay, because maybe they are getting the data as they are looking for. So now as a teacher is become challenged that how could you satisfy your students requirement, what they are asking for, what they are looking for, can you tell them something like this? So this is the way every job is getting more and more challenging, because your system is getting your competitor. And you can find, if you study different news, you can find that how the jobs market is shrinking due to this generative AI tools, the intelligent tools. Okay, but don't get afraid, I'm trying to tell you the different thing that you should study, so that you can also be part of this thing. Now, the first thing that I'm going to discuss about generative adversarial network. It is a one of the deep learning model which is being used for the generative AI system. Now, it has two modules. One is called generator, another one is called discriminator. Now, generator is the module through which it is create the different output, and the discriminator will try to find out the authentic module and may differentiate among the different module, because obviously you should want that it is going to be the best one, whatever you are generating, that is the best. So discriminator, discriminate, as the name suggests, discrimination is going to identify which one is going to be best as per the context. So this is the way GAN work. Now it's a very complex thing. I am just telling the basic terms. You want to, if you want to study, you need to study hard. You need to understand the mathematical properties. Then the learning will be complete. Now, For if the people want to work in the area of generative AI, they need to study the thing like that. What are the different generative AI algorithms are coming based on that? And for this generative AI algorithm, there are a lot of things are starting from the NLP. Now, in NLP are very much dependent on neural network. You know this thing. Now, along with that, deep learning is coming, and specifically language model. Language model is something which is very much specific to the this generative AI tool. And in this talk, I shall majorly focus on the development of this language model. Now, regarding the AI versus generative AI, I already discussed, and now I am going to talk about the this language model, and the name is called large language model. Can anyone tell that why this name is called large language model? Why the name large? Why the name large?
If anyone knows the answer, please raise your hand so that we can unmute you.
Can anyone tell? The first thing is that the system's requirement is that you have to train the model with huge amount of data. Therefore, it is called large language model. There is also small language model. Okay. Now, why small language model? Now, what I'm talking about, training on some specific things. Okay. For example, your students are studying in your college. Okay. Now your college is under Makauti and there are several colleges, but there are certain things which is about your college only. Now the students who want to know about your college, that for that they do not need to know about all the for the fetching the data. All other colleges under Makauti is not required. So it should be the only specifically your college. So I'm just trying to tell a small language model with work with limited amount of data. Okay, its scope is not as huge as the large language model. So small language model is also there, and sometimes small language model will work better because, for example, if we ask something from the application like ChatGPT, all the information will not get correct. Maybe you are organizing an event in your college. Okay, that event may not be, the system is not trained with that model or fetching the data, but in small language model you know that you are working with this thing. So every time you are going to plan something, you should upload that in your website, and the system at first fetch the small language model is being trained as per your requirement, so it will fetch the data from your thing. Now what the problem could happen, maybe some student are writing something about your college, by mistakenly they are writing some small wrong information. Now that data could come. Now, in small language model, everything is being defined, so the system know where from to access the data. So this is just an example I am trying to give you. And large language model is used for different type of purpose. For example, text generation, information retrieval, sentiment analysis. This type of thing was also earlier. With NLP, we can do this thing. But code generation, chatbot, conversational AI, those were not so robust. Now with this LLM, this become more robust, and you know that all of us are using this system. Yeah, for the bot, there are a lot of mistakes still coming, but as they are being fine tuned, as they are being trained over the time, this problem will mitigate over the time years. Now, while we are generating the LLM, what are the things we need to do? This is a very important thing, which is called embedding layer, embedding of data. What is meant by the embedding? Now, regarding that, I want to give you some practical application where from you can find. Just wait. Uh, the way we are using database or is changing over the time. For example, earlier, while we are working with the database, the relational database or OLTP online transactional processing, what we are using in that system, what happened? We are looking for a specific data, maybe the data for you, all the participants of this FDP, something like that. So if any information required, we'll retrieve that specific row. Okay. Now, I am trying to refer to some application where we are not going to look for something specific. All of us used to listen music videos from the YouTube. Now, once we are listening to the music video, you can find at the right hand side some recommendations are being given. And most of the time, you will find that these songs that have been selected by the system are often you prefer. you like. You are not dictating the system to generate the list. The system is automatically generating the list. Now, how it is generating the list? It is generating the list based on certain features. Now, while you are searching for a particular song, there are a lot of features are associated with that song. It could be a song from, say, movie of Shahrukh Khan. The system may assume that you are a fan of Shahrukh Khan, hence you are listening them. Obviously, that music has been, there are some lyricists, there is some music director, there are some singer, all are the thing. Now all these things are the different features. Okay, along with that, different songs are from different period. Often the person like me used to listen to old Bengali songs. So if I am listening to the songs that have been of the period of 1960, 70, so that is also feature that these particular people might like the music of that time. And every music has its own genre. That is the thing. Now, just think, you search a song in YouTube, you are listening to that song, but along with that, the system is analyzing with so many parameters. We have not thought of this. Actually, our human brain might be thought, but we are not aware that even my YouTube is thinking of so many things, and based on this analysis, they are going to generate the suggestion list. And over here, what happened? That as this particular thing is represented in terms of feature, we require one thing is represented in terms of many features, and every features are represented in terms of vector. Okay, now I shall explain it later. Now from this, instead of a single data, it is being represented in the form of vector. So while you are searching one song, based on that, using some nearest neighbor algorithm, approximate nearest neighbor algorithm, it try to generate the different vector which is close to this, and accordingly the suggestion list is being generated. Now the next thing that has been there, this is feed forward layer. It's very simple. You are aware of this, I believe, that in neural network you have studied that input to output, and you are going through hidden layer. Now what happened, as you are working with many number of parameters, with for this many number of parameters, you can add different hidden layers, and these different hidden layers are going to help you to do the analysis even at a more high level. Okay, so definition defining this hidden layer based on the application. You heard of the different number of epoch and this thing. So you can add on and you can build a more complex system. But why it is complex? It is complex because it able to cater more number of parameter, more number of business requirements. Okay. Next is coming recurrent layer. Recurrent layer mean you have must have heard RNN. Now in RNN, what happened that we try to find out the relationship. Now, how the models go for higher level of uh, understanding. In recurrent layer, it is understanding word based word. So it is trying to capture the sentence. Now, this could happen that you are writing studying a paragraph which is representing something not happy things, but there could be one line that represents something like comic relief. Okay, you can think, okay, that this is a might be something humorous, but this is not right. If you study the entire paragraph, then you can identify that what is the actual theme. Okay, someone has just write that particular, because sometimes, oh, I said, oh, sorry if I say in Bengali, ki dilo, this type of thing. That could be in the for positive thing, could be for negative thing. Now you need to understand that particular context. Fine. Now, if you go through a small text, you will not able to identify that. So from recurrent layer, while you are coming to the attention mechanism, what will happen? You will able to do the analysis in a better way. You might be aware of transformer model and what is said for the transformer model, attention, what all you needs. So now the new model is going to identify the context based on the a particular paragraph or by the entire document. So in this way, we get better result. And this is the way it is being shown that how researches are being taken forward so that we can able to do more things over the time. Now, regarding the LLM, obviously, you need to understand that this is something complex algorithm. And the most important thing is that it uses transformer model. Now, transformer model is such a thing that I can continue this session only on the transformer model. So you have to study transformer model, different NLP algorithms quite well to do research in this area. Now, I'm telling that as it's a short time, I'm just going to give you the different terminologies and a brief idea that how these things are being used. Now, what happened that it need to be require training continuously. Why it requires training continuously? In many application, many contexts are changing. For example, even demography changes. If you are coming to Newtown 10 years ago and now you're coming to Newtown now, these two places are totally different now, with so many offices open, so many people are staying over there, so many shops are there, shopping mall are there, the things are changing now. If the system is not being updated with that, what will happen? And even simple thing, suppose a new mall had opened, and now if you do not get the mall's address even in your Uber or your Jatri Sathi, you will feel that these apps are not good. So whatever the changes are being taken care of, so in any data centric system, that should be reflected. Okay. And what is my point over here? That how it is being reflected, because these models are being trained. And with this training, the systems are getting more advanced. It can process, it can do the fine tuning in a better way. In the next level is that what I'm talking about with this data, we need to do the training of these models, and training, the thing will come with what model you are going to train, what particular model is going to be suitable. So these are also the challenge, and then it's coming the fine tuning. The fine tuning, because fine tuning is required because it could be based on the specific task. There are a lot of things. Even for food, there are a lot of variants. Chinese foods are there, tandoori are there, Mughlai are there. Now, if you are developing some application which is talking about these food related issues, what will happen? If it is not being the different items that are coming to the market, if you are not updated with that in particular shop, in a restaurant, what type of foods are sold, those informations are not being uploaded, it will not be possible to generate. Now even in Zomato, we may search for biryani shop. Now if in the menu card biryani is not being loaded, or could be one restaurant is not preparing biryani till date, maybe from tomorrow the restaurant has introduced biryani. Okay, now, what will happen if in their menu card it is not being updated in the system? The system will not be able to give you the information. As a customer, you will don't know that this is available. So even in fine tuning, it is important that how with the current context, current data, you are updating the system. So this is the way the systems are being fine tuned. And then prompt tuning. And in this type of system, how we are giving the prompts, how we are requesting our query. Now, what happened all the time, people, the language that they are using that are not quite explanatory. So the system need to do improvement so that even that something is not being written very specifically, still the people could analyze that. Okay, sorry, still the system could understand that. So for that, what is required, the different type of prompt tuning techniques are there. For example, zero shot prompting, few shot promptings, one shot prompting are there, by which you could help the LLM to understand it better. Okay, now regarding the LLM, there are certain problems such as hallucination, security, biasness. What is hallucination? One of the problem with LLM is that it does not tell that I do not know. It will try to give you any any answer what it could give. Okay. Now this is a something very pathetic, but this happened. So you need to make sure that hallucination. You how could you overcome hallucination? Now I can give you a real life example. While my brief biodata was actually I was told by the madam, so they told that I am a advisor of Pannalab.ai USA. This is a company formed by one of our alumni at University of Calcutta, and it's a startup at USA, and am an advisor over there. So what happens? So they are actually working with the development of some chatbot for restaurant. Now they have a client. They are actually developing a software. It's a chatbot for a client in Italy, and that is a pizza store. Okay, so they told me, sir, if you can possible, please do some testing. Now, what happened? As I visited Italy, I know that in many of the shop that beer is available. Okay, so what I told that, but they sold mainly beer, not other thing. I deliberately asking in that store that can you give me whiskey along with pizza? Then I am asking it. Now what happened? The system was telling now that particular store was even not shared selling beer. Now the system is telling that ice cream is the most top up item along with pizza in my store. So can I pack ice cream for you? I am repeatedly no, I want that particular thing. So what happened? The system is not telling that in my shop, whiskey is not being sold. A very simple thing, but that problem took place. So while I try to train the model, so we really need to make sure that whatever not available, we the system need to tell clearly that it is not available. But problem with LLM is that it do not say no. It is trying to give any answer even it is wrong. So this thing hallucination we need to take care of. Next thing is biasness. What is meant by bias? Now, how these all data are being generated based on what data the system is generating the result. Obviously, system is getting some result from the data that is available from the web. Now, if some event take place, maybe a and B, two teams are arch rival. Okay. Now, very carefully listen. Maybe team A won last two matches against team B. But maybe many of the case team B won earlier. Now, what will happen? As these are the two last, and there are a lot of media, a lot of newspaper. So the information will be flooded with team A beat team B, not twice, several. It will seems like several times. Why? Because it is getting the same information from different news sources. Now if they collect this information, maybe the match played at one particular day, and it is getting 500 documents about this, and now if they do not able to discriminate among these 500 documents, what will problem that they need to find out that these 500 documents are referring to only one match. But if it is not being trained properly, the system will find that the team A won against B 500 times in the last 500 minutes. This is wrong. So this type of biasness that you need to take care. And regarding security, what happened? These LLM tools are so powerful that it often read from the data which is not authenticated to read. So the system should able to understand that from what data it should read and from what data it should not read. That is another challenge. And now, as these are the problems are coming, that authenticating the data, where from it is going to generate the information, for that, the concept of retrieval augmented generation actually came. Now, what is meant by this retrieval augmented generation? Retrieval augmented generation take care of retrieval process more accurately. That's mean where from the system is generating the data, it makes sure that these data are correct. So generative process was earlier with this generative AI tool or with the LLM tools. Now the retrieval process has been added to make sure that the data that we are getting, these are correct. So now if you look at this particular picture, what you will find that generation process was earlier there. Now that is coming as point 2. But right now what happened? The step 1 has been added, and that step 1 is going to make sure that the data that is being retrieved that are good, correct, authenticated. And now this is giving us simplified view how these things are worked. Lot of documents are being given. Now embedding models are being applied so that the data could be analyzed in terms of different feature and they are being stored in the vector database. And now when the users are giving the query, they generate this from this query prompt. They started doing the analysis such that this feature extraction type of things are being done, and from that it could able to generate the nearby data, which is going to serve the requirement of the people what they ask them. So this is the way how the system works. Now this is an interesting thing, that what is meant by similarity and relevance. Earlier we was familiar with the similarity type of thing. What is meant by this similarity type of thing? The similarity mean that we are going to find out that say the synonyms type of thing. Okay, the synonym of one particular word. But right now, what happened that in the case of tool where we are using sentiment analysis, oh, just wait. Whether my shared document has been stopped.
Yes, sir. It's being
Okay,
stopped.
please, sorry, just a minute. Now visible?
So, your slides are not visible now. It's not being visible, sir.
Okay. Please check. Now is it visible?
Uh, no, sir.
I
The
don't know
slides
why
are
this.
not visible.
Okay. I do not just work. Wait. Suddenly I think it go off. I'm sharing. I don't know. I am sharing it multiple times. Why it is not happening? I don't understand. I think now.
Yes, sir. Now it's
Okay.
visible.
Some
Okay.
technical issue from the Microsoft Teams. Okay.
Okay. No
Now,
problem,
what
sir.
I'm talking about the similarity and relevance. So earlier, while the NLPs are working, it is trying to find out some similar word, synonym type of thing. Now, what happening that with the example of the YouTube video list generation is talking about, it's what is similar thing, but it is going to the more depth. It is going to the relevance type of thing. Now, relevance is coming in terms of many contexts. What I'm talking about any song, that it could be by the particular singer, it could be by the particular lyricist or the hero or heroine, like this thing. So relevance is getting more important because we through relevance we are trying to connect the relevant ideas, and these relevant ideas able to represent the particular context in a better way. Now, while we are going to implement any rack-based system, Acha, I think my slides are changing.
Yes, sir. It's changing now.
Changing, fine. So what happened? What are the different way? How while we are developing the rack, what are the things we should take care of? Look, while you are searching a data, it could be like that. I am searching for. I think all of you are from the having the computer science background and no database. So might be you are searching from for second normal form. Okay. Now in the book there is a chapter of normalization and it is a maybe a chapter of 20 pages. Okay. Now if it show the normalization as a whole, you need to scroll to find out where second normal form is there. But if you are getting to the second normal form directly, you will be happier with this result. Now the thing will come that how the data is being represented. A data is being need to be stored in such a way so that it become easy to find out the thing. So a big document need to be divided into smaller parts, and these smaller parts are known as chunk in this RAG methodologies. Okay. Now the question is coming that while we are dividing the document into chunks, what should be the size of the chunk? Is it large chunk or is it small chunk? Now this is again very interesting thing. Very carefully listen that the type of thing what we face. For example, suppose you are looking for one particular topic. Okay. Say you are talking about gene data. Very simple. Now, now what happened? Our Google feed are fully customized. If I search from my wife's mobile, what will happen? It will come up with the definition or type or something like this. Now, if I search from my Google feed, what will happen? I shall get some data which are relevant with the research material. Okay, why? Because while I search majorly for the education related thing, I used to study research material, good paper, something like this. So the system know that while I am looking for a document, what type of thing I am looking for and what type of thing maybe another person is looking for. Now, if the person for my wife searching that when it is coming the basic information, small chunk is fine because it will give the relevant information. But while I am searching, I am looking for my searching pattern is such that I do not just want to know what is in data. It will be many case that how the people are doing research, what are the actual representation like this. So in my for searching my data, it require many contexts compared to my wife searching. Okay, so for that the data that is being retrieved from my requirement, it need to have a big chunk of data because it will contain many contexts. But for my wife search on this particular topic, small chunks are going to be fine because she is looking for a particular data. I am not looking for particular data because research is not something particular. It is relevant to many fields. Okay. So even for chunking of data, that's become, I'm with the example, I try to give an idea that how we need to choose the size. Next thing is coming document hierarchy. I'm showing you the picture. It is looking like multi-level indexing that you have studied in the database management system. Look, now there are lot of data that you need to search. Now, if all the data are going to be searched in linear pattern, that is going to slow down the system. Okay. Now, if the data is being organized in a tree-like pattern, the complexity of searching will reduce. Earlier, it is order of n. Now, it is coming with log with the base depending on how many division you did. Okay. Now, you find out how the things are getting interesting. Now, you can find out that there are a lot of documents. So while we are going to search, now suppose I am going to search some finance related thing. Okay, that I want to invest in share market. Now you might be aware of that there are different type of share, large cap, middle cap, small cap. So now if I want to say that I want to invest in large cap share, so what will happen? The documents which are pertaining to this large cap share company, the system will search the data from that category only. Okay, so it is going to minimize the searching space. Now, if all the documents are being stored at the same place, it will take more time to locate to the large cap information. But as the data has been organized based on the customer's query pattern, that is going to save the time. And now based on that, for every document, the chunks are being stored. Now it depends on the context, whether it is bigger chunk or smaller chunk. That is another thing. Okay. Now, why this one is very much interesting, that example I try to tell you. Uh, One example, have you seen the calendar of State Bank? In the State Bank calendar, if you go any State Bank offices, branches, actually my father was an employee of State Bank, so I used to see that from my childhood. You can find the State Bank calendars are very interesting. Interesting in the sense that in the case of holidays, you will find that different small codes are being given. These codes are being for the, suppose WB. WB means that particular day is a holiday in West Bengal, not in any other state. If it is fully red, then the bank is closed throughout the country. All the Sunday, second, fourth Saturday are red, or 15th August, 26th January, like these days are fully red. But for other holidays, you will find state names are given. Why I'm telling this thing? It's very important, interesting. Now, suppose you are searching for bank holidays from your machine. What will happen? It will show you the bank holiday from West Bengal, because the system can find out that your machine is connected to a system which is a from your fetching from Kolkata or West Bengal. So it will show you the bank holiday for Kolkata or West Bengal. Now, if you want to check the, suppose you will visit, you also have a, you are working in say Bangalore and you want to check. Now, if you and if your current location detected by the system is Kolkata, you will not find the holidays of Bangalore. So you need to find out, need to give the search that bank holiday in Karnataka. So what I'm trying to tell, the system will take the decision on its own, because based on the location it is taking. Now, if we do not have the idea that in India, different states have different holidays, so you will do the mistake. Now, I know, now there are a lot of small countries where there is only one holiday calendar, and that is true for the entire country. Okay, it's not province specific. But in India, it is province specific. So while the system is going to search the data, what is important that while I am searching the document for the holiday in West Bengal, it should point to the holiday in West Bengal document, not the Maharashtra or any other state. And the system need to understand that for the particular query, what result is to be given. Now, once you can find out that many times the system is asking for your location. Why? Because lot of things are dependent on your location. Okay, so based on that, that will be take place. So this is the way how this document hierarchy is going to be useful. And the next example is the query augmentation. What is meant by the query augmentation? How the system could understand the query. For example, our system is trained with the chicken soup and fried rice preparation. Okay. Now, fried chicken is coming to the system. So if the system is trying to generate the data, there are two things. Fried chicken is similar to, close, not similar, close to chicken soup in terms of the ingredients. But fried chicken is more close to the fried rice from the preparation perspective. Okay. Just I'm trying to tell you that how the system is going to realize. Another examples, carefully listen. Suppose some of our friends are visiting any sea beach. Okay, so now one friend has reached at the sea beach and another friend is asking that where are you? He can tell, okay, I'm near the beach or at the beach front. It is not going to make a very big difference. But while you are searching a room in the hotel near the beach and beachfront is very much different. Near the beachfront mean from your hotel room, you can view the sea beach. Near the beach mean you may view, may not view. These two are two different things. So while we are trying to understand the query, it is very much important to understand the context, and based on the context, we can actually explain the thing. Okay. Now, till now, whatever I have discussed, do you have any question?
If anyone is having any question, please do feel free to ask, sir.
Anyone, any question, whatever I am discussing? Okay, just for 1 minute, I'm taking a break. Just 1 minute.
Okay, sir, no problem. No problem.
Okay. So any question from your side? Okay. So I'm continuing. So now how RAG is performing better than LLM? So this is the thing. First thing is accuracy, because you are feeding proper data to the system. So due to that reason, it reduces hallucination. Next is transparency. Now in the rack tool, it specifically tells that where from it is getting the data. Now even in the lot of LLM tools are doing this thing. So earlier it is not doing the thing, but rack tools first introduce the concept where you can view where from the data is coming. And the next thing is customization. Why customization? You are loading the data as per the requirement. Okay. For example, an interesting example I'm trying to give you. Suppose you are searching machine learning question. Okay. Now, is it going to be same towards everyone who are searching for this? Now, machine learning is given as a subject even in our West Bengal board at class 12 level. Now, that machine learning question is going to be different from what the students at the bachelor level are studying. The students at the master levels are studying. Okay. Now, the question standard in the, say, the institute like IIT is not same the institute, some of the other institutes. So what is happening? So if you need to specify, so the machine learning question for the, if you do not specify, it will be difficult to generate. So you need to upload the different sets of question. And if you are asking the system properly, the system may ask you what level of question you are looking for. Then you can get the more accurate result. So this is the type of customization that can be done on a system. And now I am coming to the interesting thing, that vector database. That while you are going to apply this embedding model and all these things, how the data is being stored. Now, as I am talking that one data is not just a particular data. A data is actually representing many features. So you know how a vector is represented. A vector is collection of multiple points. So while these different features you want to represent, that's are being represented using vector database. And what happened that I have earlier implemented, that we need to apply the embedding techniques, more specifically certain vector embedding techniques, so that we can store the data vector database accurately. Okay, so this is the steps. Now what happened that while this data is being stored in the form of vector database, different features are being represented. And while we are making some query to the system, what happened, you know? There are other vectors are being stored. Now the system using some similarity measure, which is the searching methodology is called approximate nearest neighbor. Now from this using approximate nearest neighbor, it will try to find out the similar type of data that is going to represent the search requirement of the user. Okay. So this is being given. And how the vector database work, some optimization thing, that you need to do some sorts of indexing, because without the indexing, the system will become slower. Now the next thing is coming the query mechanism, that what are the different way the system, the queries are being done, and then the post processing. Now that's a little bit advanced thing. I'm just giving an idea. Now I'm coming to the how a vector database is being represented. Look, for example, I am trying to represent different creature in terms of their swimming, flying, and walking capability. Now, a cat, and how we are putting a value from 0 to 3. 0 means it cannot do, 3 means it is expert into this. So now for a cat, what happened? A cat cannot fly. So for fly, it is getting 0. Okay. A cat swim in water, but it is not expert, but cat can walk. Fine. So it is getting the value 1 for swimming, 0 for flying, and walk for 3. So now these values are putting by the system or even the user. Now for a duck, it can swim, it can fly, it can walk. So it is getting value 2 for all the parameters. A mudskipper is a type of fish that can also walk in the, without water, it can survive. So what happened? That's for swimming, it's a fish, so it's expert in swimming. So it is, we are putting value 3 for swimming, 0 for fly, and for walk, it is giving 1. Now, what happened in a vector space, they are being represented like this. Okay. Now, when you are actually looking for a, you can say some animal which is very close to cat, you might get dog. because these values are not stored over here, but dog is also have a very similar feature like cat in terms of this capability. So the system will use certain similarity measure technique based on which it will able to find out the query. Sorry, find out the relevant data. Now there are different type of similarity measure techniques. The most popular one, which is used in this context, is cosine similarity. In cosine similarity, what happens? You know the cos value range from -1 to +1. +1 represent identical vector, 0 mean orthogonal, and -1 mean opposite to each other. Similarly, if you are using Euclidean distance, though Euclidean distance, you know, it's not a very good mathematical method, because while you are working with many features, maybe for some of the features, very close relevance it can show, but it could differ in other features, but it could show. But still, this is the method used. Now, if the value is close to 0, that represents identical vector, and the larger value mean that that is a dissimilar vector. Similarly, dot products are being represent minus infinity to infinity. So what happened over here? 0 represent orthogonal vector, higher positive value represent closely connected, and negative value represent that they are in opposite direction. Okay, so these three are very important things. So those who are working in this area can work, can do lot of research in this thing, and how based on the different parameters pertaining to a particular data application, you can tell, you can do a better analysis among the different feature and come up with suggestions. So I'm giving you a research idea that while you are trying to retrieve the similar document, you apply cosine similarity and apply on your, train the model on your own way, so that you can get better result. Okay. Okay. And now, while we are actually working RAG with a vector database, what are the decisions that you need to take? One is a text chunking strategy, that whether the chunk will be a bigger size chunk, smaller size chunk. Now, while the relevance you want to find out, what are the, how many parameters you will consider, how many parameters you will consider for computation of this relevance. If you take too many parameter, that may not be correct. If you are taking too close parameter, all the context will not be captured. So these are the challenges we face. And what I talked about, the redundancy and repetition, if you are retrieving the same data from different document, there is a possibility of redundancy. Okay. And I talked about query augmentation, and then query augmentation mean how you are analyzing a particular query. So that query understanding is also coming under the challenge. Okay. And
Sir,
now
excuse me, sir. Sir, sorry
yeah.
for the interruption, sir. Your slides are a bit hazy. It's getting blurred. So, if you wish, sir, you can keep the video off and can only share the slides.
Okay.
The slides are becoming blurred and
Blood.
slightly
Okay. Okay.
hazy.
Is it becoming better now?
Yes, sir, slightly better.
Okay. I think my presentation has stopped.
Yes, sir, it has stopped.
Okay. But actually, I think my keyboard is creating some problem. So instead of the full screen mode, I am going to present the normal slide. Okay. Sorry for
Okay,
the.
no
Okay.
problem,
So
sir. No problem, sir.
yes. Okay. 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 Can you view it?
Yes, sir. It's visible, but it's same. Very blurred,
Blurred.
hazy.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'm in my university. My university net connection is speed is too high, but I do not know why this is happening. Now,
Sir, it's so sorry to say, sir, it's same. Uh,
same. Oh,
till
oh,
till now, it's same.
just a moment. Just I'm going to change the network. Let me check that whether that is going to work better or not.
Uh, Sir, the previous slides, if the video is off, you can continue in the previous slides, sir, if
Okay,
possible.
just wait. So now is it visible? Madam, now is it visible?
Yes, sir. Now it's clearly visible.
Okay, okay. I changed the network. Maybe some problem with the network. Okay. Now
Okay.
there is important feature that vector similarity not transitive. What is meant by this? Now you can find just an example. Suppose I am asking a query, why does my phone frequently drop calls? Now for that, you can look at the document that call drop in the for network congestion areas. You can find the document from there. Even you can go to some 5G network specific thing. But while you are searching this 5G network specific thing, that is not going to talk about all the drop call related queries. So what you can find that while we are pairing this thing A to B, the cosine similarity we are getting high, B to C high, but A to C drop. So this particular value suggests that it is not transitive. So look, why I'm giving this example that how we can apply mathematical analysis to establish certain property. Okay. And now I am coming to look, these are the different theoretical things that you need to know for working in this area. And here I am going to tell one particular tool that has been developed by my student, which is doing the diagnosis of disease quite well. But again, why I like to say that there is not much credit from our side. We just use, that's when my students have used lot of tools that is required because this type of things you also need to know specifically for guiding the student that how they can develop the tools. So for that I'm going to tell you that what application they have developed. They have developed say use sentence transformer for text embedding because the tool that they have developed is that they are talking about different type of symptoms, their problems, and based on that it will come. Now we also use Google Gemini for diagnosis and image analysis because we can upload certain image and the system able to give the thing. We require the vector database because there are semantic search or this type of search, ANN, what approximate nearest neighbor, this type of things are there. So Pinecone Vector DB has been used for that. And that particular tool is also supporting multi-language communication. So Google Translator is also there for doing this thing. Now, what we are giving? We are giving text input, we are giving image input, and we are checking that what is the result is how much good or bad. That is also we are keeping as input. Now, how we have enrich the context for we add new text and image as required, whether there are similar type of things are there. Specifically, this is required for the image for the skin diseases. Okay. Now, semantics for the semantic search by Pinecone, we use sentence transformer to encode the query, and the system is also find out what are the top matches, because that is also important to find out the top parameters the system is doing. There is also a API is coming we are using for symptom mapping. We are not doing anything. This API generate symptom suggestion is finding out the required symptoms, and the questions also are being generated from the system that from to the user so that they can tell even more. Okay. So this is the way, and this is the particular picture that we have shown that what we did over there. Now, what I mentioned, the different tools have been mentioned. The interesting thing is that this analysis. Now, this type of analysis you can do for different work. We work with three type of LLM: all mini LLM L6 version 2, paraphrase mini LLM L6 version 2, and paraphrase mini LLM L3 version 2. Okay. What we did, we used different chunk size and different level of overlapping. Now, what is overlapping? Overlapping means how much the chunks are being given. Now, how much data are common to two chunks? That is the overlapping factor. Okay. Now, through that, we analyze the system to find out the accuracy. Now, what happened? The last one, the paraphrase mini LM L3 version 2 is the updated one compared to the previous two. So we get a better accuracy with this particular model. Okay. Now, a comparative analysis of the different tools have been given over here. Now, what I can tell that it's not pertaining to the medical application. You can also do this analysis for other type of tools and can find out that how it is working well. Now, based on that, you need to develop certain hypothesis that for this model, this particular thing is good. This is the context. For this context, these are relevant. So this type of thing you can do while you are doing the research. Now, this one is a just an implementation type of thing. I am not showing the further analysis type of thing as this work has not been published, but I am trying to give you the idea that how you can develop different application and how you can do the different type of analysis to get result. Now you can incorporate more number of parameters to fine tune. If you are getting more data, you feed the data and you check. You can apply the normal machine feature extraction type of thing. You can also do the timing accuracy, timing requirement. You can apply, run this system in different type of hardware to find out for different hardware what type of models is going to work well. In this way, you can develop different type of application and can do the research in this area. Okay, so this is right. Now, if you have any question, please ask.
Oh, thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session. If anyone is having any question, please feel free to ask, sir.
Again, I am telling that there are two aspects. One is the implementation that is good for the your BTech MCA student, even while they are competing in different hackathon that are going to be good. And while you are going to do the research, make sure that with different type of data size, with different type of tools, with different chunk size, overlapping, you can do in such way. Okay, I'm getting one question. What research opportunities exist for you to support low resource healthcare where labeled medical data is extremely limited? Look, now the thing is that there are while you are going to, I'm going to give a different example. If you are studying CNN, there are different type of CNN models are there. Okay, what happened? The CNN models giving different, for example, mobile net. Mobile net is specifically developed for working with the mobile application. Now, mobile application using less resources, it will give less accuracy compared to the higher level of CNN model. But the issue is that you need to work over there. So similarly, the different models that I have shown in the presentation, the first one that the version I need to mention, all mini LLM L6 version 2, this work with less resources. So what is important? You find out the model which able to work with less number of data parameters because they have limitation. They work with less number of data parameters so that they can work with the small lower level resources. So you need to work with the model which, and you can find this type of model in website because lot of models are coming over the time. Okay, so you explore those things and from that you can find, and all the LLM models are not good for every type of system because the LLM models are being trained with specific data as like the RAG. So it is the exploration that will going to help you to find out that what new models are coming and accordingly you use that one.
Thank you,
And
sir.
regarding the research opportunity, what I'm talking about, you think training the system with different data parameter. All the disease parameters don't come in the same way. Some are the database. Database mean the blood test. It is totally data. But if it is USG, if it is say MRI, if it is scan, then it's image based. Now you need to, while you are going to work with the image based thing. So as I'm giving the example of mobile net, AlexNet, they work with less resources. So you work with those models. So accordingly, the system will work. Okay. So it's the continuous exploration that is going to help you to find the suitable model.
Um, Thank you, sir, for the answering the question of Mr. Obhijit Sharkar. Anyone having any other question?
And what I'm going to add at the end, generative AI is not something totally new subject. It is integration of many such things. Unfortunately, the people just work with API and this thing and find that these things are going to happen. That is not research. Whatever API are being used for specific purpose, you find out with what data parameter that API have been worked. Okay, now you try to analyze that particular system's business context, try to get some new data from that system. Now you build your own system. Okay, that is the way how you need to continue the research. Don't be
So,
distracted by the what the system is doing. You think how you can build them, how you can add new features. As we are doing in the machine learning related work, we are trying with more data parameters. Accordingly, we say everything now that one thing, the statistics that people are telling that machine learning. Okay, similarly, the our existing deep learning methodology, the people are saying they are using LLM or this type of thing, but that's a wrong way to interpret. You do the develop the thing, and over there you can develop a bot something and can tell that we are using LLM, but underlying thing is the either NLP algorithm, NLP or deep learning type of thing.
okay, sir, we have reached almost to the end of the
Yeah,
session
yes,
because
yes,
we
I
are,
think your next session will start.
yes, sir. So I'm privileged to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for taking out time of your busy schedule to be with us. So your insightful knowledge about this generative AI for building interactive medical system has truly enlightened us with various NLP algorithms, various deep learning models, concept of embedding data, prompt tuning, retrieval, augment generation, and so on. So we definitely use ChatGPT every day for any purpose without knowing that it is being trained by almost 1.80 trillion parameters. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And thank you once again, sir. And also, I would like to thank our audience for being so patient and enthusiastic at the same time. And thank you, sir, once again on behalf of entire organizing team of Future FIEM, Future Institute of Engineering and Management, for being part of this FDP session. Thank you, sir,
Thank
and
you.
thank you,
Okay, okay.
audience. Thank you, and we are going to have a wonderful next session right
Thank
from
you. Okay, so
7:30.
I'm leaving.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Yes, thank you, sir.